The Theater of Blood was released on June 7th, 2018. Within the theater, you face 6 grueling encounters, only broken up by the sprawling corridors that connect them. First up, the Maiden of Sugadinti. Tricked into servitude, the Maiden serves up a mage-based tornado attack while throwing blood into the arena. Stepping on blood will spawn blood spawns and will heal the boss. 3 times throughout the fight, she will summon crabs to heal her and buff her attacks. Next, the Pestilent Bloat. A rotting heap of corpses Frankenstein together, the flies feasting on this creature will attack anyone in sight while Bloat patrols around his vat. Bloat will run out of energy and take a quick breather, but watch out for his stomp when he awakes yet again. Everyone's favorite encounter, Nilocus Vacilius, commonly known as Nilos, or crabs. The theater throws wave after wave of its own crabs at you, each color-coded to a specific attack style, topping off the encounter with the fearsome Nilocus Vacilius himself. Sototseg began life as a humble dark beast, but was corrupted through hemalchemy. He now serves the vampires, throwing out powerful magic and range attacks while meleeing those who dare get near him. Damage him enough and he will teleport you away, forcing you to solve a maze through the Shadow Realm if you wish to continue the fight. Zarpus, the last of his race, the king of the Uraza, was captured and imprisoned within the theater. Exhumed corpses throughout his lair rush to his aid before he begins to fill the room with poison. As a last resort, meeting his gaze rebounds punishing damage back to those who dare attack him head-on. And finally, Lady Verzik Vitur, the ruler and hostess of the Theater of Blood. Transformed into a Nilocus herself by the bite of the Nilocus Queen, she stands as our final challenge. A grueling 3-phase marathon of extremely punishing attacks, Verzik stands as the most powerful creature in RuneScape, and those who manage to defeat her are sure to be greatly rewarded. Nearly 5 years later, the Theater of Blood is still the greatest piece of content that Jagex has ever created. It's the perfect mix of challenging, yet rewarding. While the theater does have a higher skill floor to get into, for the skill ceiling, the sky's really the limits. There's just so many little things to improve upon in each room. Learning and improving in the theater is one of the most consistently satisfying experiences RuneScape has to offer. Due to the high skill floor and teams' reluctance to bring in new players, it can be hard to find a team to get into the theater, but keep trying. It is very accessible if you are willing to take the time to grind it out and learn it. But what is the point of this video after all? I'm on a quest to complete as many of the collection log slots as humanly possible, and the Theater of Blood, my favorite content in the game, has quite a few left that I've yet to obtain. But what I really crave is a new challenge. What if there was a Theater of Blood, but this time, they made it harder. A hard mode, per se. That's right, boys. I have been spending the better part of about a month learning hard mode top. I've been doing pretty much nothing else in-game since I started. I've been having a ton of fun with this. It is overtuned as shit, but I do not hold the same opinion that a lot of other people do. I don't think that they ruined the raid or made it unfun. I've been completely addicted to this, actually. That's why you haven't really seen me been coming out with any real content in a while. I've been addicted to this, and I honestly need to get away from it. But it is just, as I said, it's super overtuned. It's extremely punishing. It's very difficult, but it's also really rewarding and satisfying when you start getting super clean completions with your team. While the challenge of completing it and the combat achievements and everything along those lines are something to strive for and something that I really enjoy, there are 3 main things that you are after when you're doing hard mode Theater of Blood. Aside from an increased purple chance of about 13%, you can also get these unique rewards from hard modes. For the rewards that are unique to hard modes alone, we have the Holy Kit, which you can attach to either your Scythe, your Sanguinesti Staff, or even your Garazi Rapier to change their appearance. The second one, we have the Sanguine Kit. This one makes you have a red scythe. It's actually super sick looking, and I want both of these very bad. And then last but not least, maybe the coolest object on here is the Dust. You can use this on your Theater of Blood pet, which will allow you to augment it into any of the bosses that you face within the theater. To receive these unique rewards on top of your normal loot, you must make time. The time is dependent on the scale of the raid or how many people you bring in with you. It's honestly pretty easy to make time as long as people stay alive throughout most of the raid. Deaths are really where you're going to be losing a lot of that time, and if your teammates spend too much time getting their stuff out of the supply chests. Really quick, guys, if you're enjoying the content, don't forget to hit that like button, and if you do want to catch more, make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. So join me on my journey for dust and kits as I learn the hard mode Theater of Blood. My designated role is North Freeze, which means that I am responsible for the northern Nilo spawns, and that I am also maining melee in the Nilocus room. So I know I've already gone through all the bosses of the theater, but I did want to go over what was different about hard mode. First up, we do have the Maiden of Sukadinti. Basically, pretty similar to the normal mode one, except the blood spawns never die, their trails that they leave behind never disappear, and every Nilo spawns every time. If they reach the Maiden, not only will they beef up her attacks, they will speed them up significantly. If you let a few of these in, she will be blowpiping you. And there's also another unique tanking mechanic, which makes it so if you tank multiple hits in a row, the damage will continuously increase, so you do have to continuously swap tanks throughout the fight. Stepping in blood is an absolute disaster in this, and more often than not when learning, you're going to end up in a bit of a blood apocalypse scenario like this. A lot of blood. Bloat is the same for the most part, except that the entirety of the fight, there's hands and feet falling from the ceiling. He can turn infinite amount of times, and honestly, this is the most frustrating room of the raid. Nilos, you got increased pillar damage, so the pillars go down super quickly. Everybody has to be super on top of things, and 3 times throughout the fight, a Nilocust prince is spawned in the middle of the room, and you gotta take that out, or else he's just going to do massive damage to everybody on the team. Sodatsig now fires 2 death balls at you at a time, and you got to meet up in this weird formation with 2 of the death balls on the side and the 2 other people in the middle, and then for the rest of you just tick eat it because usually you're too low health to meet up. Anyways, the maze is probably the coolest hard mode mechanic that they came up with. Instead of everybody on top, 1 person on the bottom, they flip things, so 1 person is on top and everybody else is on the bottom. The catch is that each person on the bottom can only see a portion of the maze, so you all have to run through one after another. Zarpus is easier in every conceivable way possible. The room is filled with acid, so there's less room for you to cover. The exhumes last a shorter amount of time, they heal the boss for a lesser amount, and after the screech, the boss will look in the direction of the last hit, so you and your team just circle up around her and hit the boss and just AFK for 30 seconds. Verzik is extremely difficult. There's so many new things that they introduced. Phase 1, Verzik's attack causes rocks to fall from the ceiling, making you go from pillar to pillar across the arena. P2, the cabbages leave behind some poison for a few seconds. Crabs are immortal unless popped or shot. Webs are identical to the normal one. For yellows, there are 3 lily pads and 3 balls instead of just 1. And the green ball will automatically kill you unless it is bounced. Purple Nados heal the boss 3 times the damage that they inflict on you, and once the boss goes below 5% HP, she will heal back up to 30%, and you have to deal with the rest of that during Purple Nados. Luckily, I found some boys who were willing to help teach me the ropes. They're pretty experienced already, so really grateful for them for taking me along. Ooh, there's a combat test. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the carry. I do want the kits very bad. You're never lucky. After this, I was honestly pretty much on my own. I did not go with a high KC team ever after this. I had some friends who I originally learned the normal mode of Theater of Blood with, and for the rest of these, it's basically going with them and sometimes pulling in somebody from one of their clans, or we do raids. My only regret is that I did not film enough of these to get a death montage. Let me tell you, there was a lot of dying going into this. There was whole nights where I did nothing but grind this and get 0 completions. The biggest problems were bloat wipes were super common. Even now, I'm editing this right now while filming these little clips in between. I wipe at bloat all the time still. It's just so frustrating and difficult, and just like the most minor thing will just take your entire team out. And then all of the other ones are basically at Verzik, so after you've already spent like 25 minutes in there. Alright, enough talking, let's go on the quest and get us some kits. Fucking nothing. Woo! It's me! We got one! Can finally finish that fucking video. It's been so goddamn long. Oh. No milk. Alright, we'll take it, we'll take it. Hell yeah. Dude, we're in a hot streak now. Oh, dude!
What the fuck, dude? What the fuck?
No way, dude. Are you kidding me?
Collection log slot.
I got one too!
Oh my god!
That's right, incredibly spooned as always. We got the Holy Scythe in its anime looking ass. We still need a lot of stuff from here. We need 2 more of these holy kits, 1 for the bat staff to turn it into the bird staff, 1 for the Garazi rapier, 1 for the sanguine kit to give me the red scythe, and then ultimately the rarest drop, we need the metamorphic dust to change the Tob pet, or to be able to change the Tob pet. 1 down, 4 to go. The theater has so much more to give us. This video is getting really long, so I am going to break this into multiple sections. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you enjoyed it, so you can be sure to catch the next one, and I will see you next time.